Hey guys, welcome to our 23 C8 Corvette, kindly given to us by Mike Holgoon and the team at Lockwood Kia in Oakville. You guys need any cars? They've got everything in stock. Great team over there. Today we're going to throw on an AFE Power Black Carbon Series intake, and we're also going to be slapping on a couple of Corsa Converters, some high flows while we're at it. We've already done to this car the AFE headers, the Borla attack exhaust, the Paragon lowering springs, and the pucks. So I'm going to pass the torch over to Mark, one of our C8 technicians, and he's going to walk you through the install of the AFE, and we'll just a brief stopover while we're down there to put these converters back in it.
All right, so first step is to remove this carpet. About 4 push clips, remove that. Second step is there's about 19 T15 screws that hold this guy on. This comes off. Set it to the side, and now you have access to your intake assembly. All right, so our next step is to remove these 10 mil bolts to remove the intake. So these just slide out. And so next step, we remove these temperature sensors, these clips, two more sensors above here, and then the mounting bolts of the body. There's 2 more T30 bolts that hold the airbox down. They're hidden at the bottom of it. Once those are removed, then the box should slide out. All right, so your last step before you remove the airbox is to take this guy off right here, and the air temperature sensor harness that clips onto the back of the box has to be removed. All right, so once you have your mass airflow sensors unplugged, there's a disconnect and all your wires disconnected. Here's a clip back here that needs to come off, and then the airbox should slide right out. Like so.
Okay, so far Mark has walked us through the removal of this box. This is the factory one. He's still got a few pieces he's going to talk about taking off, some sensors and whatnot. This will be the beautiful new one going in, carbon fiber. We're just going to take a quick pause on the install of the intake, because now we can access these converters even easier. Either the Corsa High-Flow Cats, we're going to be taking out the factory ones. We're going to replace it with this. Once these are in, we'll get right back to the install of the AFE.
All right, so once the airbox is removed, there are 2 10 mil bolts in here on either side to remove these air inlet ducts. They need to come out, but we're going to be reusing the screws later. All right, so now that the cats are installed, we're going back to the intake. We got to switch over the antenna from this one, the 2 heat shields, and the mass airflow sensor onto the new one. Throw this factory antenna onto the new box, just get a razor blade and cut through both plastic welds, and you can transfer it over. Okay. So there's 6 T30 torque screws on either side for these heat shields. Go ahead and remove them. All right, and there's 2 T15 torques for the mass airflow sensors. Just remove those. So once you got the heat shield off, you can go ahead and install it on the new intake with the bolts that were provided. They're 4 mil Allen key. The washer has to sit like that. The bolt goes through it like that. All right, so once the heat shields are installed, you go ahead and install your antenna. Comes with T20 screws. So once that antenna is installed, you got to install your ambient air temperature sensor. It just pops right in there. Next step, you're going to install these AFE inlet ducts with the 10 mil bolts that we took out earlier. Just like that. So one for either side. All right, next step, you're going to install this plastic fitting into the coupler. That notch has to sit in the rubber because the not cut up for it. Go ahead and slide it in. All right, so once you got the plastic fitting on, you can go ahead and install this on the throttle body. So once your boot's on, go ahead and clip on a quick connect fitting here. So it clicks. There we go. So once you transferred all your parts over, go ahead and take off the T15 screws that hold this cover on. Cover comes off. All right, so once you got that boot in, go ahead and install your airbox. This breather tube has to be plugged in, clipped in, right in there. Set this guy in place. Alright, so once you have the box set in place, you can go ahead and mount it up. your T15 Torx. So once you got the box properly secured, you can go ahead and install this over the snorkel tube, and then you can push this into the box. All right, so once you got that on, don't forget to install your mass airflow sensor, T15 screws. So once you got your mass airflow sensor installed, you can go ahead and install this guide onto the boot, onto the throttle body. So once this is bolted on, you go ahead and put these rubber grommets on. There's no clamps required. Slide them in there. All right, we're almost at the finishing line. Just install your air filters. So, tighten up your clamps. All right, there it is. Your AFB cold air intake's installed. Just don't forget to plug in your ambient air temperature sensor, both O2 sensors to the back, your mass airflow sensor, and when you're done, you can push these little brown tabs. All right, so the last piece is install this cover. Once this cover is installed, you can go ahead and install the interior of the trunk, and it's all done.
My daddy built cool cars and trucks.